So let's start with how Jcobbb moves around the map on the T side, and how FaZe take control of key areas. Let's begin in the tunnels. We've probably been in this situation many times. The cities rush lower tunnels early and completely destroy your round. Jcobbb shows a simple and effective way to counter this. As soon as he enters upper tunnels, he instantly throws a flash. When Xantares hears the grenade bounce, he decides to turn away to avoid getting blinded. This is a flash you should practice, because if you throw it incorrectly, the city hiding in the corner of lower tunnels won't be blind, and that's where this play can fall apart. A bit later, Jcobbb decides to check lower tunnels and loses the duel. Credits to Xantares here. As soon as he hears Jcobbb, he makes a small peek to the left. Jcobbb wanted to check this angle, but when he finally sees Xantares, he misses the flick and gets punished. Now let's move on to one of the most important skills on Dust2, taking short safely from lower tunnels. Jcobbb pulls out a Molotov, aims at this spot and throws it while holding W plus left click. The Molotov lands on short, allowing Carrigan to safely jump onto the ledge without worrying about an insta-city peek. However, this Molotov isn't perfect. It leaves a small gap near the stairs where the fire doesn't fully spread. Because of that, you always need to be aware of the stairs position. In a later round, Carrigan shows a much stronger lineup. He positions himself in the corner, aims here, and uses a jump throw. This Molotov burns the stairs as well, completely removing that hiding spot. Another common problem. You want to move from lower tunnels to short, but your teammates can't smoke double doors properly. Jcobbb shows how to do it safely on your own. He lines up in the corner, aims here, and throws the smoke. It lands perfectly in double doors, and most importantly, doesn't leave the gap at the top. This means ACT playing close won't be able to spot you. Keep in mind that ACT can also play close to the right side, which is exactly why Jcobbb aims here. ACT might also be positioned near the boxes against the wall. You can jump spot this angle to be sure. After getting onto Xbox, Carrigan throws a crucial Molotov. He lines up in the corner, uses a running jump throw, then follows it up with a flash and peeks. The Molotov lands on short and prevents the city from playing on the ledge behind the wall. Because of this, the city can't peek after the flash, get a kill, and instantly drop down. These Molotovs alone make taking short much safer and more consistent. Now that you understand how to control short from lower tunnels, let's look at how FaZe approach it from mid. Twist shows excellent mid smoke. He stands in front of the tire, aims here, keeps his crosshair still, walks to the right until he's blocked, and then uses a jump throw. The smoke lands on the top edge of double doors, allowing a safe run out to mid. This smoke is also great for faking, and even if it slips off the edge, there is still no gap at the top. Have you ever walked up catwalk with your team, only to die instantly? Here's how to fix that. Let's talk about puffing. During the pistol round, FaZe take catwalk toward A. Notice the spacing. Carrigan hugs the right wall, while Jcobbb stays closer to the left ledge. This way, Carrigan spots a city in lower tunnel slightly earlier, while Jcobbb sees a city on short sooner. As a result, both players have better chances to win their duels, and the player behind doesn't have to worry about a teammate running into his crosshair. FaZe uses the exact same puffing on full buy round. Another advantage is that if a city checks catwalk, the terrorists aren't lined up, making it much harder to spray them down. Jcobbb also shows one more Molotov for short. He lines up in the corner, aims at this spot, and uses a jump throw. The Molotov burns the entire short area, so you don't have to worry about getting picked while jumping onto Xbox. The city also can't hide near the stairs, and another big advantage is that the city on mid can't see you while you are throwing it. Controlling short is only the first step, and this is where most A takes fall apart. The real challenge is turning that control into a clean A side execute without getting exposed to city, goose, and long at the same time. Brocky starts by throwing a smoke onto the boxes. Right after that, he throws two flashes one after another. Xantares wants to check short, but the first flash blinds him completely, and the second one hits him again moments later. This smoke on the boxes is extremely important. It allows the terrorists to separate duels instead of fighting everyone at once. Jcobbb can now clear long, without worrying about city on default or goose seeing him, and then move onto the side without exposing himself to long. Voxic is playing goose and throws a very strong flash. It's hard to spot because the palm tree hides it perfectly. Both Jcobbb and Brocky get fully blinded and are forced to fall back, and even Carrigan checking long gets slightly blinded. Without the smoke on the boxes, Voxic would very likely kill Jcobbb and possibly even Carrigan. After getting flashed, Brocky hides behind the wall and then jumps onto the box to support his teammates. From this position, he can check both the side and goose. From Voxic's POV, you can see how the smoke slightly covers Brocky. Still, you need to be careful. A city can jump onto the boxes and catch a timing. That's why one teammate should always watch the smoke. While three FaZe players are coming out short, Frozen and Twist apply pressure from long. Twist throws a molotov to clear the left side of the door, then bounces a flash off the container and peeks. He gets killed, but Frozen instantly refrags him. With long closed, FaZe can fully focus on city and short. After the site is taken, Jcobbb throws a HE grenade onto city, dealing heavy damage. Then he follows it up with two flashes, forcing the cities to hide and eventually save. Here's a small movement detail after the plant. Jcobbb pulls out his knife, jumps off the ledge, and immediately jumps again after landing. This makes it much harder for a city on mid to hit him. Later in this video, I will show you a few small details about taking the A side that most players completely miss. These are the kind of things that don't show up on the scoreboard, but decide whether you win the round or die for free. You can't run the same A execute every single round. Sooner or later, you will become predictable. That's why this time FaZe switch things up and go for a different variation. Brocky smokes the boxes again, throws a jump through flash, and follows it with a molotov onto ramp. Carrigan shows a very interesting smoke. He stands next to the stairs, crouches, aims here and left clicks. Then he throws a molotov on ramp. The smoke spreads not only on short, but also onto city. After getting flash from Brocky, Voxic is forced to fall back. At this moment Jcobbb and Twist drop down. Jcobbb checks long, Twist checks ramp, then watch the smoke, expecting a city push. When nothing happens, they jump onto short. Jcobbb hears a city, so he jumps onto the ledge, gets the kill and instantly repositions. Within seconds, he picks up multiple kills before finally getting traded. Twist closed the round with a clean one-tap. From the city's POV, it's clear they didn't have a chance to react. I need to admit that Voxic was totally destroyed. Even when you change your A execute, there is one mistake that still gets most players killed. Bad movement during the entry. This round shows how FaZe solved that. Frozen throws a perfect city smoke with no gap at the top. At the same time, 4 players approach A from short. Brocky throws flashes, Carrigan drops into city, re-smokes to delay rotation, and follows it with a molotov onto ramp. Twist kills Voxic on long. Sniper was holding city, expecting the same rush as before, misses the flick and gets punished. Watch Jcobb's movement here. Instead of running straight, he moves along the boxes, using them as cover. When he picks ramp, only the upper part of his body is exposed. If he runs straight forward, he would be fully open and much easier to kill. The molotov from Carrigan also forces the city into the open, making the duel even easier. Later in the next half, Aurora tries a similar A execute on the city side. Xantares runs close to the boxes, and Jcobbb can't kill him. This perfectly shows why this movement matters. Let's briefly go back to round 11. At this point, Carrigan picks long and gets a kill. Aurora is suddenly left in a 2v5 situation and decides to save. But here is a small movement detail that's easy to miss. When Jcobbb runs towards city, he jumps close to the right side. Because of this, even if a city was standing near the B doors, he wouldn't be able to spot him. Now I've got a few extra tips for entering the A side that most players completely forget. In the next round, Brocky once again throws the smoke. Even though the smoke drops from the boxes, Voxic still can't kill the terrorist crossing onto the side. If you are worried that a city might jump onto the boxes through that smoke, there is a simple solution. Frozen throws a molotov from the stairs that burns a massive area. This not only denies the box jump, but also delays city's rotation coming from spawn. In the same round, Jcobbb shows a very simple but effective flash. After a moment, Brocky also throws a flash. This grenade forces the long hopper to fall back and makes the cross onto the side much safer for his teammates. A moment later, Jcobbb and Brocky both crouch and walk onto the A side. This is crucial. If Voxic was still holding the side from long, he wouldn't be able to see them at all. Jcobbb only stands up and starts strafing once he reaches the boxes. From long, the city simply cannot spot him. Next, Jcobbb picks ramp, kills Xantares, and a few seconds later, hits a quick flick on ramp to secure a second frag. Now let's switch to a strategy a lot of players secretly love on Dust2. The B take. B might look simple, but it's very easy to mess up. One missed flash, one wrong timing, and suddenly the round is over. Here is what really matters when you take this side. The city smoke the tunnel early, one jumps onto the boxes and turns away to avoid flashes, while his teammate plays on the side, with part of his head hidden. At the start of the round, Carrigan and Twist fakes on A. They smoke long corner and Xbox. Frozen molotovs lower tunnels. Then he stands in front of the box, aims here and left clicks. Brocky throws the tunnel smoke, then follows up with 2 flashes. Twist adds 2 more flashes while running in. Carrigan also throws flashes, and then walks to lower tunnel to check mid. Jcobbb is the first one out of the smoke. He clears the right side boxes and gets the entry frag. After killing the first city, he doesn't aim straight at the side where the second enemy is. Instead he aims toward double doors, expecting another city to rotate from mid. He also runs sideways, using the big box as cover. As a result, enemy can't see him. Moments later, he kills the second city and molotovs the window. Aurora don't even try to retake. You're probably curious how this looked from the city point of view. Because Vicadia was turned away, he didn't get hit by the first flash. The next one partially blinded him, and as you can see from his crosshair movement, that wanted to turn back. That's the exact moment Jcobbb peeks. Vicadia deals 77 HP damage, but still dies. Meanwhile, when Jota sees the flash bouncing off the tunnel wall, he immediately hides behind the box. When he peeks again, he gets fully blinded by the next flash and has to fall back once more. The third time he peeks, he still can't see anything and starts shooting blindly. He's left with only 1 HP and loses the duel to Jcobbb. Because FaZe threw so many flashes, the cities never had a real chance. They were forced to hide over and over again. Another important detail: when FaZe leave the B side, Brocky throws a smoke on double doors. If Aurora were on city, they could easily get exit kills, especially since Jcobbb and Frozen have low HP. This shows how professional teams protect their economy. Here is a small movement detail on B. When Jcobbb jumps from platform to side, he times the jump so the tall box blocks him from the window. If a city would peek from the window, he would have less chance of killing Jcobbb because the box covers him. Later he jumps onto the platform behind the box. If a city peeked from double doors, he wouldn't be able to kill him midair. Did you know that spawns can completely decide who wins the fight for long? If you understand this, you will stop getting surprised by early long pushes. In the 14th round, Jcobbb has the best spawn. He rushes and throws a molotov. Xantares had the best Tero spawn. He runs through it, taking very little damage. In the same round, Voxic shows a great lineup. He throws a smoke onto city and molotov onto the side. These 2 grenades make taking A much easier, especially if your teammates don't know any lineups. You've probably been in a situation where you didn't know how to fight for long, especially after using your early round utility. Let me show you some very smart ways to defend it. In round 16, Jcobbb has the second best spawn toward A. He throws a molotov behind blue, while Brocky stands in this corner, aims here and jump throws. The smoke runs perfectly in long doors, denying vision. A few rounds later, Jcobbb shows even easier lineup you can easily memorize. Same corner, same jump throw, and once again the smoke runs perfectly in long doors. Let's go back to round 16. Brocky throws a flash for Jcobbb, who checks long. Carrigan supports him by bouncing HE grenade off the wall, designed to damage any terrorist trying to rush early. It's also worth noting that Twist throws a flash as well, and stays ready to throw a second one if the T's decide to push through the smoke. Jcobbb moves into pit and waits. After a few seconds, he shows a very smart way to check long. He jump spots while holding a smoke. The key detail here is that this jump is silent, so the T's don't hear him. Just remember to hold shift. The moment Jcobbb spots a terrorist, he throws the smoke with a right click. Twist reacts instantly and throws a flash behind him, forcing Xantares to fall back. Jcobbb peeks from the right side of the smoke and gets the kill. Right after that, he immediately checks the left side, expecting a possible trade. A moment later he peeks from the right again and kills Xantares, who was throwing a molotov into pit. Jcobbb then spots Voxic, who misses the opshot. He changes position, jumps into pit, and Brocky throws a flash while running in to support him. Voxic is forced to fall back from long and gets killed by Frozen. There is a counter to Jcobb's play though. If the terrorists have HE grenades, they can deal a lot of damage. As you can see, Jcobbb loses almost 50 HP here. They can also smoke off the long corner and try to molotov pit, just like Xantares did. In the next round, Jcobbb goes back to pit again. After a few seconds, Aurora once more starts coming out long. The moment Jcobbb spots a terrorist, he instantly throws the smoke. Unlike the previous round, where he first hit and checked the left side, this time he immediately peeks from the right. He gets the entry kill onto Xantares, who completely didn't expect him there. A moment later Jcobbb peeks from the right side again and dies. But the round isn't over yet. Carrigan sets up in the corner, aims here, and throws a left click smoke onto long. He follows it up with a molotov towards short, And then a flash for Twist, who is coming up long. Carrigan's smoke lands perfectly and stops the terrorists. Twist holds the right side, gets one kill, and then gets instantly traded. As you can see, this is a high risk, high reward position. Timing is everything here. If you enjoy this type of analysis, consider supporting the channel. It helps me stay motivated to create more content like this. Also let me know in the comments what loyalty badge designs you would like to see for members. Click on the video on the screen to watch my analysis of Molodoy on Mirage against Falcons. Let me know in the comments which pro player and map you want to see next. See you in the next one. Bye!